I'm Susie Roberti, and welcome to Let's Talk Tail Waggers. We have a wonderful person here today, a beautiful story that will break your heart, then warm your heart, and you know how that goes with me. I always end up crying. But before we get started, BPTV is all volunteers, and you are more than welcome to come up and learn how to use cameras, do some editing, go out in the field. Just stop up and visit us and see what a wonderful little corner of the world that we have. So now I'm going to introduce my guest, and your name is?
Jennifer Bird.
And what do you do, and why are you here?
I am the founder of Fur Kid Rescue, and I'm located in Bethel Park. And although we don't have an actual shelter, all of our dogs are kept in foster homes. We're all basically out of the South Hills. Most of our foster homes are. And we're a small rescue. We rescue pit bull puppies that are 6 months and under, but we also take in other breeds. Yep. If we have foster homes that have education on the breed that we are rescuing.
How long have you been doing this, dear?
I've had my own rescue a little over 3 years, but I've been working and volunteering with other groups in Pittsburgh for 8 years.
Wow. How'd you get started?
I started volunteering with the Animal Rescue League in Pittsburgh, and I just fell in love with the pit bull breed after working with them. They had sent me down to work when Hurricane Katrina had hit, to work with Best Friends.
Wow.
So I got to work with over 200 pit bulls for a couple of weeks.
Wow. What was that like? Oh, the dogs, it must have been heartbreaking, huh?
It was an amazing experience.
My.
Good and bad.
Yeah. Well, you learned a lot about disaster.
Exactly.
And then the good things, little good things that you start to get to see and be happy that there are some little things. And then they start to grow and get bigger and bigger.
Yes.
Yes. So, who is this little guy here?
This is Bubba. And Bubba was found in Warren, Ohio. His abuser had basically starved him nearly to death. He weighed 13.9 pounds when he was found. The way he was found, a police officer who also was the humane officer went to a home to evict the gentleman who lived there. And when they went into the home, they had found a room that was locked in the back, and the police officer had asked him to open the room, and Bubba was there, and he was laying in his own urine and feces, and he was so weak that he could not even get up. When they did get him up on his feet, he had urinated and started drinking it, and the police officer said that it was the worst case of abuse they had seen in 28 years. So we are going after the gentleman who had nearly starved him to death. He was in such bad condition. Like I said, he was so weak that he could not stand up very long. He was very short periods of time. He would just fall over.
Oh my.
It took a while for his system to get used to food again, because his system was shutting down, preparing for death. He had to be on prescription food for quite some time. His teeth were in such bad condition from being malnourished. He had to have a dental. He was on antibiotics. He had his skin was basically just peeling off from living in the conditions he had. It was like almost bed sores on his feet. So he would yelp every time that he would.
I could imagine.
He would walk.
Boy. Now, he is sitting in her lap and being so good. It's not because he can't walk or anything. His little tail never quits wagging. He made instant friends with everyone when he came in today. It's just that he's a lover. And the reason he's a lover is because he was treated so meanly, and he just loves to sit like that. And he's a dear little guy. He really and truly, and he's not going to get any bigger because of his starvation. Did you say his growing plates and things were?
His growth plates have closed, so that could be a long-term issue because his bones could grow crooked. So far, he's doing great, but that is definitely something that we worry about. But because his growth plates have closed, this is the size that he will be. So he is a lap dog. He's just a little bit of a larger lap dog.
And he does. He just runs up to everybody and greets them, and he's the color of him is absolutely gorgeous, and he still has his pride that he's a beautiful baby, and he just puts that little head up in the air, and he's boring. See, he's yawning because he's bored. What else would you like to tell us about this gentleman?
He will eventually be up for adoption. We are trying to get him through the jury trial, which starts November 7th, and we're really looking for supporters to come to his trial. It's only about an hour and a half away from Pittsburgh, and we are carpooling. The trial starts at 8:45, but we're going to go and hold up signs of what he previously looked like. We're going to start about 8 a.m. We've done this twice previously for him. It just turned into a jury trial, so that's why we're going back again. But his first two times that we showed up for court, we had about 50 supporters the first time and 75 supporters the second time. And this time we're hoping to have well over 100 people that show up for Bubba.
And what will happen? The more people come, and what will be his punishment if he's found guilty for this?
Unfortunately, in Ohio, it is only a misdemeanor. So he is only looking at 9 months maximum in jail. He's looking at a fine. I think it is $750, but that is all. And unfortunately, we're trying to get a law passed that is called Nitro's Law, which will make animal abuse there a felony. So it's automatic jail time instead of it only being a misdemeanor where they could possibly get off on just community service or 10 days in jail, 30 days in jail. So we're hoping that he serves the full sentence.
Well, this we'll be holding the picture up and taking a close-up of it so that you can see. But this is unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable what has been done to this little guy. Why this person did this? Did you ever find out, or he just didn't have a reason to do this, to lock him in and leave him starve?
He actually had asked if he could have the dog back. He had asked the police officer why he was taking his dog away. And the only thing that we had found out was his family members said that he went to Atlanta looking for work and that he was poor and could not feed himself. But that does not give you the right, even if you did go out of town, to leave your dog for a couple of weeks while you were out of town without any care. And there's just no excuse for this, because if you can't care for your dog any longer, there are plenty of shelters that would have taken him in. And even his own family, his parents had said they had no clue what was going on with his dog. They were upset themselves.
Well, I'm absolutely positively elated that you people are taking care of him and loving him, and we're going to try real hard to find him a home, because if there's anybody in the world deserves a home, it's you. Oh, look at this laying on there. So what about fostering the dogs that you get? How do you do that?
Well, we mainly rescue dogs from gassing kill pounds that are going to be euthanized, maybe because of breed-specific legislation where pit bulls are banned. But we also have been recently rescuing a lot from our local projects. We're trying to help out our local dogs. So that's where we've been getting a lot of our dogs lately.
Well, are you trying to educate people that pit bulls are pit bulls, and they sometimes do not like other dogs, so you have to take, when you get one, you really have to train them and take a lot of time and understand why they were made. and people just all of a sudden, I don't know how they got so popular, like all of a sudden, but they don't like other dogs. The breed is made not to like other dogs. So this is what happens, and then he gets out and goes bites another dog, and then, gets on TV, and they get such a really bad name. But and they like one person is what I understand. They get to be a one-person dog too, sometimes.
No, pit bulls tend to love everybody. They're the wiggle butts. They want to just get attention from everyone. As you saw, as Bubba greeted everyone, he just wants to lick everybody. Pit bulls do tend to be only dogs in homes or controlled with just a few. They do best with opposite sex. So if you have a female pit bull, you should only adopt a male pit bull, and vice versa. But they tend to love everybody. They just tend to sometimes be particular about other dogs because you can't change what has been bred into them for hundreds of years.
That's the gene that they have.
You should not make your pit bull into something that it's not.
Yeah, I say almost every show, please go to the library and read about the dog that, unless you're going to get a mixed breed. And they're just all, mixed up and good. But when you're going to go and get a big collie dog, any kind of a specialized dog, go and read why they were created. And each dog was created for a reason. And some of them were good and some of them weren't so good, But look at him. So how many do you have in foster homes now?
I think currently we are down to 6 or 7. We don't have a lot of dogs right now. We are a small rescue, so we can only rescue the number of foster homes that we have available. So we're a small rescue. We're probably always going to stay a small rescue so we can concentrate more on the quantity versus quality. We want to concentrate on making the dogs that we have into great dogs before they go into their forever homes versus being able to save more dogs but not being able to put the time into them. That's why we always support our open door shelters such as the Humane Society, the Animal Rescue League, and Animal Friends. We always tell people to go and volunteer at our big shelters and donate as well.
Yeah, even the little ones too. Like Washington Area Humane Society.
And they are no kill, so
I
it's
know.
great.
They get so many pit bulls. Do you think they're not breeding them as much now? That like they were just everywhere. Puppies were like everywhere, and people were just buy. Do you think that slowed down by hearing about them on the news, or peep breeders just keep breeding them?
Unfortunately, I think that is the problem with why pit bulls are so overpopulated, is so many people want to make a quick dollar and they overbreed them, and then they end up in the shelters.
Yeah.
They do. They have large litters.
Yeah. And that isn't just pit bulls. That I think is like in every breed. The puppy mills and those places, they just keep breeding them and breeding them and breeding them, and to make money. That's all it's about, is to make some money.
I also wanted to mention about Bubba's Facebook page. You can follow him and actually go back to the very beginning and watch him progress from day 1 to day 2. We also have a lot of videos on there. We have daily weigh-ins, so you can see how much weight he's gained over the period of time. He was found August 8th. The Facebook page is called Justice for Bubba, and he has over 6,500 followers. And in the beginning, when we first rescued him, one of the volunteers for Fur Kid Rescue had started a chip-in account, which is a way to donate to his care. And we had donations come in all the way from Australia, Germany, Tokyo, England. So his story has actually touched quite a lot of people, and he has followers and people who check in. People have actually sent us dog treats, toys, care packages, dog beds, just a ton of things for Bubba to enjoy, since he never had those things when he was first brought into the world.
Oh my. How old do you think he was when that man got him?
We were told by a neighbor who actually showed up at the courthouse to support Bubba that he was about 4 weeks old when the man had him. He was way too early to be even taken away from his mother.
Oh, my.
Yes.
Look at him just sitting there. I know. We're going to find you the bestest home in the whole wide world.
So his court hearing is at the Warren County Municipal Court, which is in Warren, Ohio. And if anybody wants to email us or go onto our website, which is furkidrescue.org, they can contact us to get the information of where to go, what time to go, and also if they need a ride, we have several volunteers willing to carpool for his hearing.
That's wonderful. Absolutely.
And he is a great dog. He will make somebody,
you know, there's
very happy.
Dogs are so forgiving. They're just forgiving little creatures, and you just it breaks your heart. But he just comes right up to you. You would never ever guess.
Yeah, pit bulls.
He's like an old man.
Pit bulls are very resilient. As much as they go through and as much as they continue to love the people that abuse them.
Yeah.
I mean, he has always loved humans, and even though he was abused, he's a great dog.
Excuse me, I'm going to lose my voice. I think every dog, well, just about, maybe there's a 1% exception to the rule, will keep coming back, and the meaner you are, the more they try to make you, love them. I love you. Yes, I do. I think, excuse me, I think he was meant to be. I think he was meant to be a movie star. I really do.
He got his name Bubba because his full name is Bubba Gump because he has a severe underbite, which is absolutely adorable. Now, when we got him, his teeth were covered in tartar.
And he was just a baby.
And he should have had pearly whites. So when he was put under anesthesia to be neutered, he also got a dental to make his teeth nice and sparkly.
Oh, my Lord.
And all of our rescue dogs come spayed or neutered, vaccinated, heartworm tested. They're fully vetted when you adopt one of our dogs. And that is something that we think that all small rescues should make sure they do, is spay and neuter prior to rescue. A lot of the small rescues that are starting up are not doing that. And we want to stress how important it is. Otherwise, you should be adopting from one of our larger shelters.
Yeah. Now, how would you know if it's a good small group to adopt off of? Apparently, there's a lot are coming up now. People, and then they foster them out. How would you tell?
Well, you want to make sure that your dog is fully vetted. The most important thing, your dog, if you rescue a dog from a rescue group or shelter, it should be spayed or neutered, vaccinated. You should be getting all of the vet records. They should be doing a home visit to make sure that your dog is going into a safe environment, and that if you have other dogs, that you have a proper introduction to make sure that they do get along well.
Well, would it be wise if you come from Humane Society, that you could say, I belong to this group of Humane Society, so people could check and make sure you're just not a fly-by-night group?
You should always have good references with other groups or shelters.
Yeah, but I mean, when I call you and say, do you have any references, then you could give what Humane Society would say that you're a good person and we know about her. And
well, like I said, I volunteered for 3 years with Animal Rescue League, and they had sent me down to Hurricane Katrina.
See, these are the things. No, it sounds weird for me to ask you this, but it is very important, because there are people that will take your money or whatever, and they're taking it for the dog for a wrong reason.
Exactly. Well, any adoption fee that you pay should cover the vetting, but it also should be very close to what our shelters are offering. You should, if you're going to rescue from a small rescue group, the adoption fee that you pay should be very in line with your local shelter.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, our pit bulls that are over 6 months, the adoption fee is $50.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Well, that doesn't include them getting neutered.
Absolutely, it does.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, my. That's a gift in itself because,
Yes.
oh, boy.
Another group that we like to support is Hello Bully, because they are the pit bull advocates in the Pittsburgh area. And I learned a lot from their group. I volunteered with them for a couple of years before I actually started my own group.
Mm-hmm. Tell us about them. They're terrific people.
Yes, they are. They're a great advocate for pit bulls, and they actually are just starting their own actual shelter. They're calling it the Halfway House.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yes, I'm big supporters, and always I love their trainers.
Yeah. They're wonderful people. They really, and they do understand why people think about the pit bull the way they do. And their organization is really trying to make it so. You understand they are good dogs, but you just have to train them and be with them and know about the breed.
They have great educational handouts that I actually give to all of my adopters about the characteristics that you should expect from the breed. And they also have Pit Bull Prep School, which is almost basically it preps you for your training course.
Aww.
So it teaches you how to teach your dogs all the basic commands.
Wow. It's really getting to be very thought out, about how to approach this type of dog. I think when they were entered, just brought into society, people just didn't really realize, what they were bred for. And, oh, you are the dearest little guy.
Well, what we want to do is we want to make sure the public who are scared or may have misconception of the breed, we want to educate them so that they're no longer scared, or, we want to put all the myths to rest. Mm-hmm. And the people who do own pit bulls, we want them to know the breed so that they can have the pit bull in the home without any issues.
Well, they have to be responsible. They just, when you get a pit bull, you really have to be a responsible owner. That is so very important. And you just can't tie them outside on a chain because they are very strong, a dog. You really have to, dedicate yourself, which you do with every dog. But these little guys here, some of them are you just really have to monitor them very closely.
Well, you should never let a pit bull run off leash. You should always have it on leash in public areas.
Well, guess what? It's time to say goodbye.
So I'd just like to conclude, I guess, and just remind people to visit the website, which is furkidrescue.org. You can see Bubba's picture as well as our other dogs that are for adoption. And if you can follow Bubba on Facebook, which is Justice for Bubba, and Fur Kid Rescue is also on Facebook, and it's FURKID, one word. And if you would like to donate to Bubba's cause, whether it would be monetary or even supplies, you can email us at furkidrescue.org. If you go to our site, you can contact us.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having us, Susie.
Really and truly, I really appreciate your time for the Tail Waggers. I really and truly hope that he gets the best home, and some people at home can decide to go with her if you have the time. It truly would help maybe teach this young man that people do care about animals, and they do have feelings, and they need good homes. So like always, remember your humane societies. Washington Area Humane Society, as you know, is my love. If you have any towels that you don't want to give to the homeless, send to the Washington Area Humane Society. If you have any money, dog food would be wonderful, or cat food. And thank you so much for your support. You have no idea of the wonderful things I hear and people come up and say to me. Like always, I love you, and thanks from the Tail Waggers.
My name is Sarah.
And I'm Denise, and we're here at the Western Pennsylvania Humane Society.
We are here to tell you about our Girl Scout Gold Word project.
As you can see, these animals are very lovable, but there's a problem here at the Humane Society.
They do not have enough wet food to give to their animals.
And that's where you guys come in.
We are asking for your help through a generous donation to the Western Pennsylvania Humane Society. At this time, we have collected over 1,000 cans and donated them to the Humane Society, but they still need more. These animals need their food so they can continue to have healthy, full lives before they are adopted out to a loving home.
Another way you can help out is by adopting an animal from the shelter.
Thank you for your time and attention, and I hope that you have the consideration to remember the animals at the Western Pennsylvania Humane Society.
Hey, you ready?
Of course I am.
What are you waiting for? I was waiting for you.
So we're gonna continue the puppy thing real quick.
Okay, places everyone. In a minute! Do I have to do everything myself?
You can't do it all by yourself.
I'd say that...
Sure I can.
No, he can't. And neither can I. So why don't you come on down to BPTV and help us make some of the great community programs you see on this station every day.
Yeah!
I mean, we can help you make your TV show ideas a reality.
It's pretty awesome.
So come on down. I mean, I am pretty good, but I'm sure I could use your help.